What about the balustrade? The balustrade seems to be one more item that seems to be kind of dumb. So we look at the baluster placement, and inside of there we'll see kind of what the options are. So here we have kind of the kind of generic idea of how it's spaced. Here we have a little bit more specific information about the start of the post, the corner, what happens at a corner, the end of the post, and kind of the same amount of information as far as that goes. Like what's the family, as far as what's its profile, or what does it look like, and then host and so on and so forth, to the distance, top offset, and offset. This is where you could also control kind of where it is in relationship to that line that is drawn for the rail. So we can apply that, and we'll see it kind of move out into space. And realize that it only moved out the ones that aren't kind of down here, defined down there. So I don't really want to kind of move that out there, so I'm just going to put that at 0, apply it. Alright, so let's take a look at some other things that I might want to control. This is when it's really nice to have things isolated. It looks like, as far as that, spacing is maybe something else that I might want to control. It seems to kind of randomly, here it looks like it starts right on the tread, but it kind of randomly kind of moves up. That's not really what I intend. So let's look at adjusting that. So to do that, we're going to, I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. Select the railing. We're going to look at the baluster placement, and we're going to start seeing what these numbers really do. So down here at the start, there's absolutely kind of no, maybe there's this ½ spacing, and essentially I think that's so it actually gets onto the stair appropriately. And then there's this kind of random 4 feet. So I can handle this in kind of multiple ways. So if I change this to say 8 feet, let's see what that does. It does kind of what you would expect. It kind of just puts one right here, 8 feet from the start. You also have, you can justify this, toward the end. So watch where that's placed. I'm going to put it toward the end. And basically now it's marching from like here, 8 feet, and placing it there. So there's a couple of things that you might want to do. You might want to see kind of exactly how the tread has been spaced. So if we look into that and edit the stair, we can kind of see that the minimum tread depth is 11 inches, and we might want to verify kind of what it did as far as the tread. So it's at least 11 inches. So we can use that information. We can put a dimension string and kind of figure it out, but use that information to kind of place this next baluster. So in some sense it's got to be at least divisible by 11 inches. So let's say if it's 4 foot minus 4 inches, so let's say 3 foot 8. So I'm using that space to go from feet to inches here, and we'll apply that. And we'll see that now we kind of have a little bit more orderly positioning of that style. Maybe I really would want it to be more like 7 feet, or multiply that by 2, so it'd be what, 7'4". And let's see what that does. Alright, so that looks about right. So that's how you start to edit the balustrade as far as its spacing goes, but let's also talk about changing this kind of ugly post into something a little bit more architectural. So let's make a new balustrade. So you're going to have to go into new families. And look for the baluster. So we have a baluster post. We're going to use the post. And go ahead and open that. Alright, so it's the kind of typical height of a baluster. We are in the elevation. So what we want to do is to start to make some design proposal for what that might look like. So I'm going to look under views, elevations. Okay, I do have a left. That's perfect. Okay. So in the left profile, I'm just going to do a simple extrusion. Make sure that the reference plane is left-right. That's cool. And I'm going to draw something very specific. So let's see. I want to go from here, say up, maybe over 3/8 of an inch, and down to there. I'm going to modify that position just up 3. So I'm just going to do the move command. I'm going to just want this to be under 3/8, so 2 foot 5, and let's say 5/8. Alright, and then I'm going to draw a line. Actually, I'm just going to make this a little bit easier on myself. How about we just go and finish this one out? So this would be like a steel piece of 3/8 inch steel extruded a certain amount. It's looking for me to close this. Okay, should have drawn a rectangle. Oh well. Alright, so we're going to do that. We don't want the extrusion to be that deep. Let's say that the depth is, say, 2 inches. Okay, so we should take a look at that. I just did a ZF command to get the zoom fit, and we can kind of see that thing built. I don't know, maybe a little bit too wide. Let's say 1.5 inches. This is all, these dimensions are up to you, and in fact the design is up to you, so you kind of put into it what you want to put into it. Let's go to the floor plan, and again I'm going to have to zoom fit. I'm not sure why those defaults aren't kind of smack on. I'm going to want to move this so that it is in and centered. Alright, so I need to put some dimensions on this so I know it's centered. Try that again. Alright, again I'm going to change this scale so I can actually see what's going on. Select equal equal. It shifted everything a bit. And now we got to see kind of what I've created. Alright, 1 5/16. So I'm going to change this dimension. Now I'm just going to actually select the box and kind of mess with the extrude. Okay, so that now should look in the right kind of placement. The other things I might want to do, I'm just kind of creating on the fly here. Maybe I want a kind of placement of some steel as these cables come in. So I'm going to do a 3/4 inch by, say, let's see what I've got there. So I'll make this dimension, let's see, this is thinner stock, maybe 1/4 inch. Maybe even smaller than that. 3/16. Okay. And let's move it so it has a place for that cable. So this is kind of in plan, remember, and so the cable would be coming into this piece right there. So if I move this out, say 1/8 of an inch. Actually, that's not bad, 1/8. And then I'm going to mirror that. Oh, I'm still in extrusion. So let's see how big that extrusion wants to be. Let's go to a different view. Go to the front view, and we should see that piece there. I'm going to have its extrusion end be associated with the baluster height. That's a given kind of parameter that you already have. And then I will just go ahead and mirror this. Alright, so if I've got this in kind of accurate, I've got a 1/4 inch kind of dimension right here. I should have both of these now referencing the baluster height, and everything looks good. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this, and this will become my balustrade or baluster. Whatever you want to call it, and we'll load that into the project. Alright, so now things get pretty simple. I gotta select my, let me just go to 3D view so I can see what's going on. Select my railing type, go into the properties, go to baluster placement, oh, wrong one, and look at the family, and now I have a baluster that I just created. I'm going to go ahead and change these for all of these and apply that. So there it is. If it happens to be facing the correct way, this is perfect. Although I'm not really pleased with the fact that it's kind of hanging off the edge, so I'm going to go change that. We'll change the start. That's the start post. We'll offset that instead of a 1/2 inch. Let's go with a full inch. Take a look at that. And that looks better. And say OK. And let's take a look at the rest of it. Make sure it flies. Looks like we're a little bit off there. Take a look at other places. It's a little bit off there. So we may have some minute adjustments to make with that spacing. But you guys can handle that. Some things I'm noting. This part of the stair up here didn't kind of follow the same rules. So again, something that I would have to fix, or I would expect you guys to fix in this next project. Okay, so we've got that. We now have a pretty clear railing that we've put some design intent in. That's really the point. And so we can kind of end that portion. And let's move to kind of one of the last steps here, and that's to apply the railing to other things such as a floor or whatnot. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn off and reset the temporary hide temp. Yeah, go ahead and save. Always a good idea. Alright, so let's go to the second floor. And we see that I have something such as this that I might want some kind of railing here. So to do that, it's pretty simple. I'm just going to go to railing. I'm going to pick the railing that I want. Let's see. Make sure that I have the railing kind of that I want in mind here. So I've called this the guardrail pipe. Ha. So I did kind of something that is bad form, rookie mistake. I really should be duplicating this and calling this kind of what, let's say this is the guardrail designed or some kind of other thing. So I know it's not the old one, although now I've edited the old one to a point where it didn't really matter. But I think we should kind of get used to kind of calling things what it is, especially when you edit family. Okay, so all right, so we'll edit this path, or no, not that one. Now we'll go ahead and create a new railing using that designed guardrail, and we'll just tell it to kind of start here, move over to here, say OK, and maybe I want to do the same over here, and draw that line and draw it over to there. It looks like I probably need one all the way back to here, maybe even all the way over to here, and there. Okay. So now we'll see in 3 dimensions that it's populated the world with that railing. So that's pretty cool. All right, one thing that is kind of been a problem for students kind of looking at making an AD accessible, and I've talked a lot about kind of the 4-inch rule and whatnot, is that you have to extend the railing a foot past. I go take care of power. So you have to extend the railing a foot past the stair. So we should talk about kind of how to do that. It's really easy to do, but it's easy not to kind of remember to do it. So if we select just, and I'm just tabbing through, select just the handrail, I'm going to edit that. And we see right here that we have kind of extensions that we can use on that handrail. So I'm just going to just add a foot to it at the top and at the bottom. I'm going to apply that. And we can see that it kind of already automatically then extends it, which will look good in the plans. It'll look like I know what I'm doing, which is brilliant. And you have other, just so you know, not that I want you to do it, but it's a design choice. You can have it do nothing, which essentially just has it follow straight whatever the floor is, or the stair, or whatever. Or you can do to a wall. So if we apply that, it kind of turns. If there was a wall right here, it would actually go to that wall. You can tell it floor, and then it goes straight down to the floor. You can also tell it post, and the post essentially, as you can imagine, turns back and tries to hit the post. Although, anyway, all right. So I'm just going to put none. And what we should see is that in plan, we have the kind of proper ADA kind of stair already kind of made up. It's brilliant. Don't have to do anything else. Great. We might notice if we go to level 2 that now I have an extension on these railings. So probably be a good form for me to edit that type and just call this rename this to be the design for floors, and work on editing that portion. So I'd have to have that designed for floors, great, and go ahead and select then that handrail and tell it to not extend, because I don't want to obviously go into the floor. So let's see about doing that. Apply. It actually did it to both of them. It looks like it's actually tied to handrail type. So in your family, I'm going to hazard to guess that under here, the circular 1.5", I need to create one that doesn't extend. We'll try that and see if that works. Oh, it might be top rail. We'll try this and see what happens. So this is like rename extended. Let's try that, see if it works. Looks like I may be wrong. Yeah, I didn't get that right. Okay. All right, real close, but not quite there. All right, so what I was right. We did want to create another handrail type. So what you need to do is edit and assign the correct one to here. So here we're going to use the 1.5" that doesn't extend. So I just need to tell this to not extend. And apply that, and then I'm going to select that railing type, and I'm going to have it change to the extended version. So select that one, apply it, and then now tell it to extend. So 1 foot, apply, okay. And we want to do the same thing over here. Okay, Alright, that looks great. Done.